As always, I am subject, and we have Robert, Pamela Voorhees, and Noah doesn't know good movies, Torgo.
Good
Oh,
one.
Thank you. We're here
Noah's not even in
because
this movie.
I don't know. I don't remember most of the characters in this movie's name. I don't care. Um, um, so Robert and I talked about this last night, but this is in many ways the gateway movie for me. The channel might not even exist if I hadn't seen this at like 13. That's the perfect time to see this. Noah saw this for the first time 3 or 4 years ago at this point.
Like 5 years ago.
That
So it
can't have
was
been
oh
around
that
when I
wow.
long.
first. Yeah, it was around like when I first joined the Discord, which would have been 2020.
It's
I
whenever
also
Cap did that
probably
After
first see this
Dark.
movie like yeah, I didn't see that, but I also probably first see this movie like 5 or 6 years
All right.
ago.
Without
Actually,
further ado, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
In three, or Noah, are you ready?
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. But yeah, I see this the year it hits DVD, so I would assume that was late 2001.
We got Kyle in the live chat, and he's not a fan. He says that Jason X is horrible.
Kyle, you're a fraud.
I do think this opening credits animated sequence is kind of a fun misdirection where this is following Jason Goes to Hell, and it gives you that vibe. And then, just kidding, we're
Yeah.
not in hell, we're actually in his brain. Because this is a
I want to know.
sci-fi movie?
I want to know how his brain
Question
is
mark.
that.
Yeah, makes
Actually,
sense.
it's a psychological thriller. We're really getting into the mind of who Jason Voorhees is.
Yeah, see, that's the main theme right there, Noah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I've always
I
really
didn't just
liked
pull
that.
that out of
That's
my
the
ass.
music.
That's the music I would think you'd play on the menu.
Well, and famously, this is basically a placeholder movie because after Jason Goes to Hell, we were supposed to get Freddy versus Jason, and then that was in development hell for years and years and years. They could never settle on a script. So eventually, New Line was like, let's just make a fucking Jason movie while we're working on that. I don't know. Then somebody said, I don't know, Jason in space, and they went with it. So that's what we got.
They went with it. And
So real quick, just because her
did
name
they
showed
go
up
with
on
it?
the credits, uh, Lexa, Lexa Doig, I don't know how to say her last name, is the final girl on this. And she was just on Chucky season 1.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
she is the mom of the cousin that gets pushed out the window. But Robert, I was looking at her Wikipedia page, and I probably knew this and forgot. She is also on Smallville as Dr. Christina Lamel.
That famous character
I
everyone
don't
loves.
remember who that is, but she's in the episode Harvest.
I doubt that's the only Smallville connection, just because this is a very Canadian movie, and that's a
Yes.
very Canadian show from the
But
same
there is
era.
another connection to another sci-fi show that I think ended before this that nobody talks about, which was Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. She is in it as well as the android.
Oh, cool. And we've got some more folks in the live chat. Draven asks, "Is this going to suck on so many levels?" It depends on the mood
This
you're
is
in.
gonna
I think it's
rule
fun
on
time.
so many levels. Terrifier in Space is the only movie that should exist, but Jason X is peak. I would watch Terrifier in Space. Give it to me.
I'm down.
Uh,
Uh,
Crystal Lake Research Facility, the famous, well-established
Hmm.
research facility at
yeah.
the camp.
Yeah.
And
Tyler, I normally don't get a chance to watch the movie live with you guys, but Jason X is a special occasion. Hell yeah, welcome in, Tyler. Draven, she is Talia in Arrow. No, she is not. That is a different actress. Oh, wait a minute. No, sorry. She might be. I'm thinking of because the main
Nissa
top.
or whatever her
I'm
name
thinking of
is.
Nissa. I forgot they did Talia.
They did. I don't remember what their Talia looks like.
And it is Lex. No, it is Lexa. Okay, I apologize. I was thinking of Nissa.
So, one thing that's funny about the setup of this movie that I don't mind is even before we get into the space stuff, like we still jump to the future. And the reason why they do that was to not get in the way of Freddy versus Jason. So that movie could still happen within the next few years, and this would still be set after that. So chronologically, this is technically the final like original Jason movie in that canon. But it is funny that this is the time when they were like, "Oh, we should jump ahead to not fuck with continuity," in a series known for its horrible, inconsistent continuity.
Well, and especially with versus movies, how many versus movies are in continuity?
Right. Because yeah, like Freddy vs. Jason is designed or like that could be set whenever. Like it's not a
Yeah.
direct sequel to any of the movies.
Well, and they're so inconsistent because they did that, but then they also hired someone that's not a fan of either franchise to direct it, and they got rid of fan favorite. Because that's the other thing we should notice. This is Kane Hodder's last Jason movie.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, real quick, how do you feel about the Jason design in this? Because I've heard mixed things. I personally really like it, but that might be because it's my first. Not
I
Uber
like it
Jason. We
for.
haven't gotten there yet. Just regular.
Oh, not Uber Jason. Okay, I thought
Or
you were
both
talking about
designs.
that.
We'll get to Uber Jason.
The current one is fine. I got no real strong or negative opinions on it, to be honest.
Noah,
You know,
have an opinion.
he looks like Jason. Like, what do you want from me?
Kyle Kane Hodder was the best Jason. That is correct. It's funny because Jason is kind of like the Doctor, where because there's so many different portrayals, everybody has a favorite, and then there's just
That was
that
an
one that
interesting comparison.
most people are just like, yes, this is the best one. Kane Hodder's, he's
Well,
a lot like David Tennant.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, it really sucks we didn't get Kane Hodder back for Freddy vs. Jason because that would have been the perfect
That
one to
is a
go out
shame.
on for his run. But at least we got him back in the video game. It's really cool that the makers of that did that for him. So if you want more Kane Hodder Jason, we got that in the video game. So that's fun.
Kyle says the 2009 Jason design is his favorite, just a monster. Yeah, I mean he's good.
I like remake Jason.
We peak with 7 in terms of Jason designs.
Well, this Jason who just killed David Cronenberg, one of the best cameos in any movie ever. I like this initial Jason design. It's very like kind of a mix of like the Part 7, Part 8 era Jason. He's got the chain around his neck. He's dirtier.
Well, it's just funny because in like 7 through 9, he's kind of decaying, a monster, and there's a little bit of that, but you could also see like regular human skin now.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also has more hair this time.
Yeah, I mean that changes every movie. I like the set. But Kane just had this way of moving as Jason that really gives the character a personality to differentiate himself from, like a Michael or a Freddy or a Leatherface.
Well, he's definitely the definitive zombie Jason. What we think of as that character now. Kane Hodder is always going to be definitive, but I do really love Derek Mears in the remake, and that for me is like the perfect survivalist Jason. Going back to what he was in the initial movies. So those two are easily my favorite. But this is just the pure
those two
slow
are
rage.
good. I have a soft spot for the guy in 6.
Yeah, he's good. He is definitely like the proto Kane Hodder.
He has that unfortunate situation of like they don't really know what to do with zombie Jason yet. He's just kind of there. But he gets a few good moments. This movie also doesn't give a fuck about like logic or physics.
Because
And
why would it?
I kind of love that. Well, because what I like about that is we've already established that Jason can do inhuman things since he came back. This
Yeah,
is the movie where they just go, whatever we want him to do, he can do.
he can do. This is the Jason in space movie. You got to throw all logic out the window.
Well, and Noah, I don't know if you know this, but when they were pitching this movie, there were numerous pitches, but none of them were plots. It was just, where do we put Jason? Those were the pitches. They had.
What scenario?
It's been a minute since I watched the making of this, but like there was one of Jason in Antarctica, Jason in Africa,
Okay.
Jason in can't even remember the other ones, but those are the two that stuck out to me because
Manhattan.
I mean they did that and it was pretty good.
Pretty good is putting it strongly, but yeah. I do kind of like that. I don't know, like part of it's also, oh, this series has been going on for so long, what we do with a future movie, but I like that it kind of became, let's just put Jason in a different
Different
setting and see
things.
how he reacts to like
They
whichever setting.
the smartest thing Friday the 13th ever did is they managed to avoid the pitfall that Halloween fell into, where every Halloween movie has to be Michael Myers in this one specific town hunting these very specific people.
Yeah.
Jason can go anywhere, hunt anyone, it doesn't matter.
And I like the idea of like putting him in the city or putting him in space. It's just which was executed slightly better.
I don't know what you're talking about. This movie's perfect. Right down to
Do you like
the
the
bit right down to the bit where it just becomes aliens for a minute.
do you like the spirit Halloween cobwebs in this
Yes.
set?
Oh yeah.
Uh I they're going to say it here in a minute, but I have bad news. We have passed the point where they banned hockey in this
Here.
movie.
That was last year, right? 2024.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys remember when they banned hockey last year?
I do.
It was a big
There was
deal.
no real outrage about it. I was shocked. Okay, so I must have seen this in '02 because it comes out. This is weird. It comes out November 15th, 2001 in Spain, but then
Yep.
it doesn't hit the United States until April of '02.
Yeah, it gets shelved for a minute.
But this had a decent budget of 11 to 14 million, but it only made 17.
Yeah, this is probably the most notable failure in this franchise, just financially speaking. But I think it was just the timing, the weird release date. I think this movie just came and went, and a lot of people didn't even know about it.
Well, it
I
doesn't
feel like
help that the last one was almost 10 years before.
yeah, but I feel like everyone knows about this movie once it hits home video.
Well, and it's
Like
funny too because I think out of all of the slashers, this is the one you could have taken to direct to DVD market and
yeah,
still done cool stuff.
at times this looks like a direct-to-DVD
I
movie
was gonna
from
say,
that era.
Yes.
so I don't want to discount the like effort and work that went into making this because I think you can see it on screen in certain areas, but I don't know what it is. For the most part, this really just looks like the cheapest movie of the series.
Yeah, it's like it's the most expensive, but it's also the most ambitious, which makes it look
Yeah.
the
See,
cheapest.
I
Or
still think, and I don't say this as an insult, I still think the first one is the cheapest looking, just because it was. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
this has
I
a
think this
lot
is
more
the
going
cheapest
on with like
looking.
set design and
Hmm.
effects.
But from two on, those are usually decent looking movies, but they're just shot in the woods.
I think that's also part of it. It's the fact that they're using more sets here, and just the
Yeah.
sets don't look as good as shooting on location.
I can see that. As much as I have issues with 9, I think that is kind of the perfect one of this looks like a real movie and like has the
Yes.
budget to go along with it. If only it was an actual Jason movie.
Well, and before that, 6 is the one That's kind of
Yes.
that perfect marriage of it. It looks like what you want from a Friday the 13th movie, and it actually looks like it had real money
Oh
put into
no.
it.
He lost an arm.
What's his face lost an arm? Isn't this character called Azrael?
Thought he was
Yes.
Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, it's Finn Wolfhard, guys.
No, this is Dollar Store Carrot Top.
Uh-huh.
Is he even a redhead like Carrot Top?
And
I couldn't tell in
it
this
seems
shot.
it
It's
seems like where
this.
it's green screen, it's ambitious. We gotta show like a desolate post-apocalyptic Earth, but eh, they did their
Eh.
best.
Uh, and as a kid, I always thought this pilot guy kind of looked like Robert England a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tyler, what is everyone's favorite kill for a Friday? Oh, it's the cryogenic freeze.
The liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all
I
timer.
was gonna say that, but now I feel like I can't because you guys did.
Tyler,
That's
this movie is
that's
just Dune. This is better than Dune, honestly.
the spice.
I'm gonna
And I'm
leave
only
this
half
conversation.
kidding when I say that I would rather watch this than Dune Part 1.
Oh, you do you. But the liquid nitrogen kill is a good example where you can actually see the money on screen, and it looks good.
Yeah,
That is something they could not have pulled off
I also
in the
really
earlier
like
for
movies.
sure.
this Colonel character that they showed on screen there for a second. I wish he was in
Not
the
Tony
movie more.
Todd.
Yes.
He's great. I love him.
But Robert, what is your favorite?
Yeah. That's a good one. Hey Ted, where's the corkscrews? Great. Uh, the remake's got some good. I don't know. I have to think of that for a minute. There's so many. We got to rank all the kills at some point.
Oh God,
All 200
he's
of them.
killed like 200 people because they made 12 of these.
Oh God,
just the sleeping bag kill.
The sleeping bag.
that's a great one.
The sleeping bag kill. What I love about that is the number one example of like editing improving a scene. Because in the original edit, I don't know if we've talked about this, Noah. He's supposed to hit her against that tree like multiple times, but they had to cut it
Oh
down,
yeah,
so it's just the one, and I think it's better for it.
yeah. No, I agree. There's a version of the sleeping bag kill, and I think it goes on for a bit longer.
It's
Yeah,
also a lot
and it's played
goofier.
purely for. It's played completely for comedy. Yeah.
Hey,
The
not
remake has
Tony
a riff.
Todd was just in Gladiator too.
Oh, cool. Good for him.
I didn't
The
watch it,
remake,
but
the remake has a riff on the sleeping bag kill, and it's very brutal.
Noah, what are you doing?
I'm fixing something. 1 second.
He was also in The Incredible Hulk. Now I'm gonna want to watch that movie to see if I can spot him because I'm sure it's just like a bit part.
He's on screen for like 2 seconds.
Back.
I like this starship set well enough.
It's
think
so.
I think this is where you can make the TV comparisons because this looks like the set that the show greenlit to capitalize on Star Trek's popularity would make.
It's all. Now I don't know if this is what happened. It looks like we're probably just borrowing sets from a lot of various shows and movies because there's absolutely no consistency to these rooms and hallways, but it always looks sci-fi-ish. I appreciate the variety, I
I mean,
guess.
you're not wrong.
Definitely just does like a knockoff Star Trek ship.
Hmm.
Right?
Also, at times looks like a much cheaper version of like Alien Resurrection. This can take place in the same universe as that movie. I'd buy it.
I'd love that.
You know who it should have been in Alien Resurrection instead of Ash? It should have been this robot lady.
Yeah. Wait, in Resurrection.
Or Romulus, rather.
I was like, are you talking about the Winona Ryder character or it's too many
No.
robots?
Too many alien movies that begin with R. Too
Yes,
many.
2 of them.
I know, that's still too many.
Oh, wild.
What's up?
The robot was in one of the Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, cool.
Tyler Noah goes to fix something he was never seen again. Yeah, because Robert ate him.
That's true.
Oh no.
Right now, it's just Noah's ghost. He wanted to watch this movie with us.
He's really excited to see Hellraiser 3 again.
Oh god. Speaking of Star Trek,
Yeah. The fashion in this movie is also a choice.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Very 2000s. But you know
very
what?
futuristic.
For this movie, I think it works.
And I do think there is a tad bit of self-awareness to the script in this movie.
Mhm.
Cause you got
Some
the
of the
two
the-
teenagers
dialogue's
that
pretty
like
deep.
can't keep their hands off each other, and there's a corpse right there.
Yeah. Some of the dialogue's pretty Whedon-ish, but like discount Whedon.
Yes.
And you've
a
got that
lot of
really fun scene where the captain is like talking to that guy off on Earth 2 or whatever. Is like in the end it all comes down to money. I love the captain guy. He has another kind of, I don't want to say cool death, but like cool death scene. Because you get the great, it's okay, he just wanted his machete back.
Yeah, the humor in this movie is very hit or miss for me. Sometimes schlock plays better for
That
me when
doesn't
you
look
play it
good.
completely straight. Nope. Um,
And I
but
don't
I
know
don't
if it
think it
looks
goes
good in
too far
O2.
there. I don't think it did.
But you know, it is set up. We are setting up something.
That's true.
No, I think
Uh,
the money's on screen when you see a lot of the practical effects in this movie. I think it's the CGI that's the weak link in terms of special
Right.
effects here. Like later when you see like that VR game that they're playing, there's that big alien that
God.
looks terrible.
I mean, I would argue that is showing the money. It's just it's 2001 CGI
Right.
or late
On
90s.
this
Yeah.
budget. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yeah, on the budget, yeah, to be fair. Because I can think of other movies that came out in 2001 where the CG looked much better.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they like you said, like we
They
said,
had more money.
they had
Yeah.
probably 3 times the budget this movie did.
Of course. Gotta keep
No,
it in mind.
I that's the thing is I think people need to give them kudos for is they were told do a Jason movie in space. It would have just been easy to cut it down to just him in a spaceship. They would no, we're going all out effects. We're going to use the environment to our advantage.
They went big. One thing I did want to show you guys. Careful not to drop this. I got this for Christmas. This is my Jason
Oh
lava
my
lamp.
god.
It's
You
awesome.
probably can't see
Hell
it
yeah.
well on camera, but he's great. It's part 6. He's got the chain. What
The
sucks is you
mask is
can't
like
just.
really cheap, but
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
already kind
solid.
of.
no, that's awesome.
What
That's
sucks
really
is you
neat.
can't just keep it on though. It's got a timer for like 7 minutes,
Oh,
but
damn.
it's still cool. He's
That's
great.
cool.
Gotta try not to spill it.
Don't.
It's
Don't spill
very
Jason.
cheaply made.
And I
That's
like
really
this
cool, though.
idea of like
Like,
the final girl is kind of a fish out of water with the killer. The problem is she adapts really quickly to to futuristic technology.
oh, absolutely. She adapts very quickly to like all her friends and family being dead, living in a new time period. Like
My
she
favorite
adjusts
is when
very
she
fast.
grabs that gun and she's like, "Yeah, it's just like riding a bike." I'm like, "I don't think it is."
No.
Yeah, well, I think this was also pretty heavily panned when it came out, but by fans, not just critics. Like this was not a liked movie initially. I think people have warmed up to it over the years, just for the sake of variety. And it's Jason in
I mean,
Space. I
it's
think
been so
when
long
this
since
came
we've
out,
had one.
Yeah.
yeah, and when this came out, people are like, "Oh God, like what this series has devolved into." uh, people just weren't having it. But now it's like, it's fun.
Funnily
So,
enough,
like,
the movie I would compare this the most to in just terms of fan reaction, I think, is Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, for sure.
was that the similar? Did that come out around the same time too?
Yeah, that's
That's
just a few years after this.
04, 05, but that's also at the time was considered even by fans a jumping the shark moment.
Like going too
Mhm.
far. Yeah.
That's why the immediate next one is direct to DVD and takes all of that stuff out. It is back to basics.
But funnily enough, and that's the same guy working on all of those movies up through the TV show. We do go back to see to Chucky a lot in the
We
TV show.
do. No, the minute that TV show got announced, he just brought all of it back. Well, and it's
So it's
funny
not like
too
we're trying to
because
hide that.
even with the 2 direct to DVD movies, like yeah, he went back to basics, but then the very next movie is also insane.
It's insane, yeah.
Oh, you thought one Chucky was enough? Here's an entire army of the goddamn things.
Well,
Is the
he
whole
needed a hit. He needed to win the fans back. He needed another hit under his belt, and then he went right back to doing the goofy, weird shit. And you're like, God bless him.
Yeah, I wish that we should be encouraging that kind of stuff. Not like, no, you have to make it the way the second movie was. Ignoring the fact that the second movie is also really
well,
goofy.
as much as like I don't love this movie, but like to people that hate this movie, I don't know. It's it's hard for me to be mad at the Jason in space movie. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
and
also
regardless of what you think about this, like of it, this is also the follow-up to Jason Goes to Hell. Like this is at least more of what people wanted from this series.
This is
It,
slightly a return to form.
yeah,
Slight
slightly,
of that.
but also this is a series where its foundation, its very first movie, like it's not high art. It's not a great
No.
movie. It's just a
oh, here's
Halloween
Noah's favorite
knockoff.
scene.
Ugh,
She needs extra credit.
Why?
I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
obviously I love the series, I love these movies, but I don't think it's like that sacred.
I like that going to
uh,
space is the line that people will draw after all the crazy stuff that happened,
he,
especially
he
in the
can
later
he can
half.
fight a psychic girl, but this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
too far.
He's a superpowered
Well, and
zombie.
because the other thing that this movie, all of these movies are smart about is even when it gets ridiculous, like 6 or 7, Jason is still always serious. He is not.
Right. That
Although
goes all the way.
we're gonna have a scene here in a moment. What wakes him up is the goofiest fucking thing, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So good. You see like that rainbow light going over his face. Could somebody take this clip and make it like a Happy Pride Month thing? The
Oh,
timing's just perfect.
Oh yeah, Happy Pride Month.
Uh,
Oh Jesus. Why is this scene in this movie?
this is like we're going for comedy, I think.
No, I think that's the intention, and I don't know. I think it succeeds more at cringe than cringe comedy.
That's
but
how I feel. Yeah.
they're going for it, and the
Okay.
you pass is funny.
Yeah.
Slasher Fred Jason X has many homages to Ridley Scott's Alien, mainly because the plot involves a space crew being terrorized by a dangerous stowaway, and Hellraiser 3 makes me think of Elm Street 3, mostly because both have heavy metal songs. I mean, we'll get to
Interesting.
it, but Pinhead's characterization in 3 is very much like looking at Freddy.
I do think it's really funny that like this lady is portrayed as like the more serious one,
Yeah.
and she's wearing that.
I was gonna make that point earlier. This is one of my favorite like Jason wake ups. Also, is this the first
So
movie
good.
that has like Jason is there the entire time? Because normally we build up at least a little bit to him, or he'll disappear for a long
6 we
period.
get him
Six
right off
is
the
the
bat.
first
Yeah,
scene is
yeah,
him
you're right, you're
getting
right.
resurrected.
Yeah. But to your point you were making earlier, John, though, when 6 went in a more comedic direction, that was a conscious choice on the producer's part. Was like, okay, you can be as funny as you want, but don't make fun of Jason.
Yeah.
Jason can't be goofy. He still has to be serious and scary, and that's
And
how
that has
that
one
blend
of the
worked.
greatest Jason shots, like him standing on that RV after.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
This
the
is the
series
scene
ever
more
hits
where I'm
that
like, why
balance
is
again.
this here?
Yeah.
With the robot lady and her nipples falling off.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh my god, the power of making out is waking him up.
Uh-oh. He just has a built-in sex sensor. That's how he
I mean,
operates.
that's a read you could have at least with this one.
Well, this is also the first post-Scream Jason movie, and I kind of like that they take those tropes Scream is making fun of and just brings them to the forefront. It just pushes it
Which is
even
funny
more like,
because
yep,
it's
that's what we are.
in a way, it's the third self-aware Jason movie.
Mhm.
Jason beat Scream to the punch. Fuck you,
That's
what's
true.
face.
Well, yeah, and 6 also has some meta jokes.
So does 9.
He's waking up.
The power of PG-13 making out has woken him up.
Yeah, that's what's
I
weird. This
love
is
that musical sting when he sits
That's perfect. That it, whatever they're doing with Jason now, I know there's that prequel series that's in the works, but if we were to make
Mhm.
another Friday movie, we should have another scene like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just confirm that he has like a built-in sex sensor.
Well, and that's one thing I thought was funny with the game is because there's always the joke like he could just teleport around in the movies.
Yeah.
No, in the game he can just teleport.
Yeah,
Here it is.
No, this is a fucked
it
up way to
is.
die.
She does not deserve this. And it's a great effect. It's perfect.
When I was younger, and because like I said, this was my first, that legitimately, like, I had to look away the first time I saw that. I was also 13, but
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely hear about that scene long before I ever actually watched this movie. It's the most iconic scene.
so good.
Of course, there's there's a scalpel that's like shaped like a
Like a machete.
machete.
And the subtitles got the sound right. The subtitles said "Kiki ki ma ma ma."
Perfect.
Good job, subtitle people.
Tyler, such a weird edit. I think you mean perfect edit. If you're talking about where it goes from making out to him fast forward sitting up.
No, that's intentional. That's not a
Yeah.
mistake on the filmmaker's part.
No. Oh, like they knew what they were making.
Oh yeah.
I do want to mention this was written by Todd Farmer and directed
Yep.
by Jim Isaac, and I mention that because the writer of this went on to write My Bloody Valentine 2009 and Drive Angry.
Oh.
It's good variety.
I like all three of those movies. Jason X.
Well, and he's in this movie. He's
He
bald guy.
is. He's the bald guy that gets his face smashed in. And then James Isaac is the
You're
director.
showing. Sorry.
And it looks like the only other big. Oh, he was a part of the creature crew for Gremlins,
Oh,
Oh, cool.
and he directed House
wasn't he an
3.
wasn't he an
And
effects guy before directing?
yes,
I think that's
'cause he
how he
did
knew
effects.
Cronenberg.
Okay.
Because he's got special effects credits for Return of the Jedi, Gremlins, House 2.
Is the fly on there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I know he meets Cronenberg on something, and that's why that cameo happens.
Oh, wait
in
a
this.
minute. Okay, this is why Wikipedia is dumb. So it says select filmography and like these things that he's credited
Yeah.
for. But then you read his career page and it says he also worked with director David Cronenberg on his films The Fly, Naked Lunch, and Existence. So why isn't that in his filmography?
What? Somebody tell me.
Yeah, and already she's coping with being in another time pretty well.
Yeah, and I mean, I like this movie. It's fun. It's not typically my go-to like Friday the 13th tradition movie or spooky fall season movie, but I'm
No,
glad it
because
exists.
I think that's the other thing for me with this. I don't rewatch this a lot because it doesn't have that spooky vibe that some of the other
Mhm.
movies have, like Part Six, especially with like the
Right.
Universal horror kind of influence. Um,
I
Well,
this isn't one that I just throw on.
and to be fair, this was always a summer series.
Yeah,
But there's still like that particular atmosphere you get in the woods that you don't get on a spaceship.
no, yeah,
so I love most of these movies, but I do find my go-tos are like 4, 6, 7, and 10.
Well, and I've
Slasher
always
Fred Jason X is basically the show Andromeda, but in reverse. Where in Andromeda, Lexa Doig's character was an android, and in this movie she's a human. And then the android lady is also in that show, and she's a human there. So that's the
Hmm.
when Lexia's character says that you've got to be freaking kidding me. This is pretty much a homage to the classic movie The Thing.
yeah, that line's probably a callback. Oh my god. And one thing that does help this movie is now that we're in the 2000s, at least the gore isn't cut down as much as some previous sequels. Like the MPA didn't care as much by this point, and you can tell. So that's nice.
yeah. These movies weren't very scandalous anymore.
Mhm.
Kicker, I hardly know her.
And I've never loved this movie. Like it's never been one of my favorites. I think this is actually the last one I ever watched. Like when I'm going through the whole series around 2018 or whatever. I think this is the last one I ended up doing. And I had a good time. I appreciate it. I think I've warmed up to it more over the years. But even though I don't love it, I've always said from the beginning, I love that it exists. I love that we
Yeah,
got the Jason in space movie, and we actually exploit that and have fun with it. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
always be happy
and
that it exists.
that's why I laugh when people are like, Hellraiser 4 is Pinhead in space. It's a bookend. Like he's only in space at the
Mm.
beginning and end of that movie.
Oh god,
Oh, it's
it's
Robert's favorite
it's
scene.
oh god, it's bad CGI on a Bible man set. Like what am I looking at?
So Noah, this right here is the writer of the film.
okay, this bald guy.
Baldman.
Yeah. This 1080p or whatever this Blu-ray is not helping that CG.
Oh no.
Which I
Well,
do
now
have to
this
say,
movie's on
otherwise,
4K,
I
so
know
you
I
can
can't
really
wait.
see how bad it is.
I can't wait. I do have to say though, for the most part, this is a wonderful transfer. Okay, I have questions. How real are these simulations?
Yes.
I think when it cuts out, Jason isn't wearing like a VR headset like these guys are, so how is he able to interact with the world?
Where's the logic? Tyler
The,
said, "Imagine being named Stony." Yeah.
that's a really funny image, though. I want to see Jason with a VR headset on with the with the hockey mask on still.
Would love that. Yeah, you're right. I forgot they're wearing like some kind of
And they're
headsets.
just
Like, how is he in the game?
they're just sitting on the floor. They don't have chairs.
Yeah, where are the chairs? They're just like in a warehouse.
I like the lighting in this scene though.
Oh, his name is
Yeah.
Azrael.
Yeah, I told you
That's not Batman.
he's dead. but it is Azrael, and he got his back broken.
That's
Oh,
true.
I wonder if that's a reference.
That would be a really funny reference.
Oh fuck! You just
Yeah.
killed the writer.
But I think though when you could really see the tides shifting on this film's reputation is when we found out about them wanting to do Jason X DLC in the video game, and everyone was like, "Yes!"
I am
Everyone was so
so
excited
mad
for
that
it.
didn't happen. Because I don't know if you've seen it, Robert, but there is footage of it on YouTube.
Mhm.
No, if you don't know, they
Let's
were
gotta
going to
go,
add
Jason.
the spaceship as a map, and you were going to get to
That would have been
be
awesome.
Uber Jason.
That would have been sick.
And
They
there's
should have went
actual,
forward though.
well, that's when they hit the lawsuit bullshit.
So
But there is playable footage of it being played on YouTube.
Mhm.
wow. Aren't they trying to bring that game back?
There are
That's the rumor.
rumors
Because
that
they
yeah,
just
there are
ended
rumors
Okay.
that team's
support
working on
for
it.
Texas Chainsaw.
If there's any truth to that, hopefully they are able to bring the
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah,
X
and then
stuff
it's so
to
like
it.
somebody can get it and play with us.
No, I mean you two can do it.
You fucking bastard.
Remember Aliens?
This is better than Aliens.
Hey, do you remember that really old movie, Aliens?
Yeah,
Remember
I'm
that really
glad
old
we.
movie Jason X?
Oh God.
Oh my god, I really want Peter to pull that out on the whatever his next appearance is.
Remember that really old movie, The Human Centipede?
Slasher Fred Jason X is a callback to Part 7. Mostly because pays homage to Jason slamming a girl in a sleeping bag against a tree. That is
Yep.
correct. Oh no, Noah's gonna die on stream. He's drinking coffee.
Nope. I'm drinking iced tea.
Oh, nice.
No, me dying on stream is for a later date.
That's when we end the channel. Like that's the final video on the channel. Is Noah dying on stream.
It's the grand finale.
One of my actual critiques of this movie is I think by the end the cast is a little too big. This movie is weirdly trepidatious about killing like main characters to where you get some people at the end where I'm like, I don't care about this person. I think the movie thinks I do. And our final girl I like, and she kind of gets lost for a bit. I
She
wish
does
she
get
got more
lost
to
for
do
a
in the
bit,
climax.
but I don't know. It's not that big by the time you get to the end. There's only 3 of them left.
Yeah, I don't care about two of them.
I'm gonna be
I like
honest.
the
I don't care
robot.
about any of them.
I like the robot and not Andrew Garfield.
Not Andrew Garfield.
I don't care for that guy at all.
I like this guy. Why couldn't he have survived?
Not Danny
He's great.
McBride.
Yeah. Tyler, remember that really old movie, The Human Centipede? There's a pause. He realized, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the movies in this franchise where I feel the cast is pretty unmemorable. I I don't remember anybody in this movie until I rewatch it, except
I
for
like
like
it.
How
I
can you
remember
forget
the
Crutch?
the robot chick, but just because of the goofy scene where she kills Jason.
How can you forget the iconic character of Crutch?
I'm sorry.
Robert,
Oh
what
my
I
god, he
really wanted,
teleported.
what I want is the spinoff of this movie about the Microsoft Wars that he mentions later, where they're like beating each other with their own limbs. Slasher Fred in the original Hellraiser movie, the main true bad guys are Frank and Julie Cotton. Pinhead is just a supporting character. That
That's
is
true.
correct.
We'll get to Hellraiser later tonight. We'll
Yeah,
talk
because
more about
Robert
that.
has something else to talk about with Hellraiser, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
With Heckraiser.
Heckraiser.
Heckraiser versus
Is
Heckboy.
that is that the Canadian release?
Ah, heck.
No, that's the Australian release because they can't say hell down there.
Because their accents, they just can't say it.
Well, no, because they censor everything.
They can't say
So this
hell.
is where I will meet Noah in the middle. I don't know what any of these characters' names are, and I don't care. But I do like
Okay.
some of their deaths.
Yeah, this scene goes on forever, but there's at least a couple good kills. We traded in walking aimlessly in the woods for walking
Walking
aimlessly in a
aimlessly on a
warehouse.
spaceship.
In a corridor.
Yeah, the only one of these I care about is the sergeant guy.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's probably my favorite character in the movie. But you were complimenting the lighting earlier, and I
It's
kind of resist that
inconsistent.
because, yeah, well, I can't tell if it's for atmosphere or if it's just, look, this is really cheap and we just gotta hide as much of the set as possible.
Why
Most of
not
this
both?
is in darkness for no reason.
But okay, but why not both? Like in any other movie,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, they're lighting it to hide the cheapness to their advantage. If it works, it works. Is this part 8 um, homage?
Ah,
The guy who's boxing
Um,
Jason. That
I
doesn't
mean, he
look great.
doesn't punch his head off.
that effect isn't great, but I still like the "you're screwed" kill.
Yeah.
That's a good kill.
And I remember on the DVD, it had a bonus feature where you could just jump to the kills, which I thought was funny.
We don't do fun stuff like that anymore.
Tyler, hey Ted,
Yeah,
where's
now
the
we have
corkscrew? Jason just throws a guy on one this time.
we don't do fun DVD menus like that anymore. Now we just have weird menus with unfitting music,
And static images.
static images.
So the one thing I will ask about Hellraiser just real quick is, Robert, are you excited to see 3 after watching 2?
I'm curious. Yeah,
Not that
I don't
anything
know what
in
to
two,
expect.
not that anything in two is an indication of what's going to happen in three. Just,
I don't
just
know
so you
what you're
know.
talking about. It's a direct follow-up.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah. He's screwed.
Sighs angrily. Like, did you just make a pun out of one of your
You're
teammates'
fired.
deaths?
I also remember when I saw Freddy versus Jason, that dream sequence where he kills that girl and then she like shifts through a bunch of his different victims. The first time I
Mhm.
saw that, I swore one of the victims was one of the people from this movie. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That couldn't have happened yet.
No,
No, I
John,
don't
it's
know if I don't know if I've told you this because Robert and I have talked about it. So
okay.
this is the last movie, but this movie alone spawned a whole wave of novels and comics, including Jason versus Jason X, where
Oh,
cloning bullshit, original Jason comes back to fight Uber Jason.
but that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That stuff needs to be in print.
I know, I want to read it so bad.
Come on, guys, you're
Or no,
sitting
sorry,
on.
it's Jason versus Jason X, which I think
Yeah.
is an hilarious title, as if Uber Jason is just now Jason X.
This is
We are
called Jason X.
we are sitting on a gold mine / landfill of Jason content that needs to be re-released for the
So,
public.
Noah, check the group chat there. I just sent the cover.
I just saw, yeah.
I had a couple of the books as a kid, not Jason X books, but they also did. I don't know if you guys remember this. Right after Freddy versus Jason, they did original Jason novels and stories. And I had one that I read this probably 6 or 7 times. It was called Church of the Divine Psychopath. I love that title. Number one. Number two, if they, I would love to see them adapt that book. But basically, the plot is this church decides that Jason is like the hand of God punishing the guilty, and so they decide to resurrect him. But then he just kills them all. That's a
Oh
great
no, he
shot.
got off-screen to death.
My
Robert, he
legs.
got cut in half by the editing.
He got cut. Got him.
Ew.
See, it's kills like this that I want to see because I want to see how he got her up there and like what that looked like.
Slasher Fred just mentioned we've had a lot of in space sequels. We got Critters in Space, Hellraiser 4, Leprechaun 4. That's something we need to rank all of the in space horror sequels on the channel at some point.
I
And
sorry, Slasher Fred. Hellraiser 4 does not count.
Oh, it
75
counts.
75 to 80% of that movie is not in space.
But Moonraker is the James Bond in space movie, but that's not until like the last 30 minutes. Like it counts.
Ugh,
that was
It's
I
fine.
was
it's gonna take more than a
disappointed when I
poke in the
finally
ribs
watched
to.
Moonraker. I was expecting it to be the whole movie.
Yeah, the
I,
first 2/3 are just a bad remake of Spy Who Loved Me.
I love
And then
that
it's a
where he's like,
space
it's
movie.
gonna take more than a poke in the ribs to put this old dog down, and then he gets stabbed again. He's like, "Yep, that'll do it."
That'll do it. That's the best joke in the movie. That's the okay. You were trying to be funny and you succeeded. Good job, movie. That's
I
the
don't know.
best
I
one.
still think
You
the
get a
best
medal.
joke in the movie is just him waking up as they're making out. But that's a good one. Part of it's the delivery because he's not delivering it like a joke. It's just he's saying dialogue. All right, Robert, name every one of these characters.
Uh, hot chick, hot robot chick, black guy, uh,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
nerdy guy, fat guy.
Hey, that we established that's Crutch.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Andrew Garfield and not Danny McBride on screen
Yeah.
together.
Okay, so we're something insane is about to happen, and I have a question for what this does to his body count.
It's true.
So we established that they're going to Solaris. No, I don't know. I don't know if you thought about this or if we've talked about this, but they're headed towards Solaris, which is like a
Yeah.
human settlement, or it's kind of like a Deep Space Nine thing, right?
Yeah.
Jason is going to kill not Robert England here, and they're going to crash into Solaris and make it
Okay.
explode, like right here. Does that mean that Jason just killed like 400 some people in one go?
Yes.
I think according to the writer, there's like 20,000 people there or something.
This
So
is
it like
this is the biggest Jason movie they've made. So
Yep.
he's got to go big.
yeah, like look, right? Yeah, so there's 20,000 people on this thing. Jason just killed 20,000 people in one go.
I like the models. I
Yeah.
miss seeing real models in
Me
space
too.
movies.
No, this looks great.
And movies in
Lost Art.
general.
90s to maybe early 2000s were like peak model work where we just built insanely huge models for motion pictures. Like Lord of the Rings is really the peak of that.
Yeah, with all the miniatures. I love all that stuff. And we see it sometimes. I mean, I think Blade Runner 2049 uses a lot of miniatures.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, mostly CG.
Well, that went well.
Well, that just happened.
Yeah, see, the rest of it explodes on the shitty green screen. So Jason's body count will just like never be surpassed.
Nope.
No, it'll. This movie will be the peak of Jason's body count.
He went from killing almost 200 people to like 30,000 in one movie.
Okay, so if I do have a criticism of this movie, like obviously I acknowledge there's faults, but I don't care. The one thing I do care about that annoys me in this movie is this one girl. that is like losing it because
Yeah.
she's really annoying.
She sucks.
She's the worst, but she does get a really funny death.
Yes,
Yeah. I could have done
she
without her
does.
line
She does. What line?
when she dies. She says this sucks on so many levels.
That's a
No,
different girl,
that's a
Noah.
different girl.
Oh,
You can't tell hot brunette chick number 1 from hot
I'm, s-
brunette chick number 2.
I'm
Wake
sorry
up,
that
Noah.
I can't keep track of these really distinct, memorable characters.
But she does lead to one of the more memorable lines in the movie. I can't. Which I say, but now I can't remember. But it's like right after she has her freak out, and bitchy girl's like, "We really don't need this right now."
No, and we'll get to it. Like the this sucks on so many levels kill, I think is the worst kill in the movie. That one's disappointing.
Right.
It's
Where it's like,
disappointing
oh,
because the
you
setup is
ran out of
really
money.
cool. What I
It's
hate
a
about
perfect
that,
setup.
what I hate about that isn't in the movie. Critics ruined that for me because everybody thought they were so clever in their reviews by quoting that line. You're not
Yep.
clever. Stop it.
Yeah, that's what's funny about some of those early reactions where it's like, were you expecting high art from this? From both critics
This is
and fans,
funny.
where it's
Why
like,
don't
oh.
you just stick your head out and have a peek? Now it's a Friday movie. He broke some glass.
Oh my god, yay.
But
That's the
no,
other
we were
thing is,
talking about the girl with the weird sweatshirt that's kind of hanging off her waist.
oh, yeah.
She's gonna have like that breakdown and like shut herself off in the escape pod.
Yeah, I don't even remember. You expect me to remember a character from this movie?
Yes.
Um, that's the other thing why this doesn't rank as high as some of the other movies in this series for me. There's not quite enough Jason or another character or a dog smashing through a window.
Not enough slow
This
motion.
this
Not
was a
in slow
trailer
motion,
line.
yeah.
No, this scene I like a lot.
I love
This
this.
guy's great.
And I've seen this a million times, but this guy just sells it.
Mhm.
Tyler, to answer your question, Noah is because he's a fraud. But Robert and I are watching our Jason X Blu-ray.
Is the new Arrow 4K? Do we have a date for that yet?
Oh, it's out. I
Is it?
couldn't afford it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. He just wanted his machete back. Woo!
What do you think he's going to do with said machete?
You are always the caretaker, Mr. Voorhees.
Yeah, I don't think the cast is terrible. I appreciate that most of them are playing it straight, but that's the main thing lacking for me is I could use some more standout characters.
Yeah,
A
I
lot of these
mean,
people are
there's
kind of
enough
generic.
here for me, as many as any of the other sequels.
I like Tommy in
Oh,
part 6 a lot.
here's your favorite, where she just picks up this gun and knows how to use it.
I do like her. I think she's well cast. I like that she's kind of an older final girl for the series. She just doesn't get enough to do.
Yeah. No, I like her a lot. She would probably rank in the upper tier of my Friday Final Girl rankings.
Yeah. But then you have movies like Part 5 that has like the best cast ever assembled in motion picture history. Everyone is memorable in that movie.
Wouldn't go that far.
Noah
Tyler,
agrees
okay,
with
I'm
me.
going off my DVD and it seems to be going faster because I had the machete scene a few minutes ago. I mean, are you synced
Oh,
up with the
weird.
timestamp? I think I might upgrade them to the 4K. Yeah. What if the Australian version is
I
like the Australian cut and it's only like an hour?
I'm glad Jason X got a prestige release for
It's so
video.
funny because it got the remake. Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X got prestige like Arrow releases before any of the original sequels.
They should also do Freddy versus Jason. Has that been confirmed yet? Like, do we have a date for it?
I think
I don't know
they
if they
are going to do
announced.
Freddy versus Jason.
I
I don't know
think
if we
that
have a
might have
date
been in
though.
that announcement.
It would be the last of the New Line Jason movies.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the
it's
one
weird
I
how
would
they
pick up.
did it.
I like that
Okay, so
movie
it
the
looks like they
most
are
out of all
not
the New
doing Freddy
Line.
versus Jason right now.
Oh, damn it!
I know. So sad.
That's the best of the New Line Friday movies. Yes.
Quality-wise, that's probably correct.
I think I would
Well,
put
no,
this
the
over
the
it.
remakes. No, the remakes. The remake would be my favorite.
Remix, yeah.
Yeah, but I
The
don't
I
New
count
Line
that
prefer
because
era.
that's
Freddy
mostly
versus Jason.
Platinum Dunes.
Mhm.
And I like the remake, but give me zombie goofy Jason over Hunter Jason any day. For me, of the
Yeah.
New Line, it's probably this. This is gonna be blasphemy. This, then Freddy versus Jason, then the remake, and then I don't care where you put Jason Goes to Hell. Tyler, they can't do Freddy versus Jason. They've talked about it, but keep getting shut down. Oh, weird.
Oh, weird.
Okay.
I can't imagine why. Scream Factory just put it out on Blu-ray. Well, okay. Admittedly, you can also tell that that's just like an old Blu-ray that they put in a new case, but
Yeah.
maybe
But I
Warner
mean,
Brothers
it's a
has.
New Line movie. I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
know what though? Because Robert England or Wes Craven's estate, I think, got Freddy back. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's probably what it is.
Okay.
can we
That's
just play
definitely what.
ball? Like, I'm so sick of uh, rights politics with these horror franchises. You would make more money if you just put the damn thing out.
Yeah, like the movie already exists.
It's at this point, as much as I love it, it is also for a niche audience. General audiences aren't going to go out and buy the Freddy versus Jason 4K. I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute.
Who put out that Nightmare on Elm Street 1 4K release? Because the estate was
That was
probably involved
Warner.
with that.
I think that was Warner's themselves. That might be part of it. Maybe Warner's wants to do it. Tyler says for him it's the remake, then Freddy vs. Jason, then Jason X, then Jason Goes to Hell. Fair enough. I think the only thing the remake is Freddy vs. Jason is missing is I don't love the final girl. She's fine.
She's not great. It's
And he also,
Freddy
as
versus.
much as we complain about some of the dialogue in this movie, Freddy vs. Jason has it way worse. Freddy died by fire, Jason by water. How can we use
How
that?
can we use that?
Can
And
we get another take on that?
that's
Can we get another reading on that line? No?
well,
Okay.
and that movie has like 3 times the budget this had, and even then the CGI in it isn't that much better. There's too much CGI in that movie. That's something that hurts Freddy versus Jason for me. I'm glad it exists. It is a fun time. I do wish it had been made like a decade earlier because it's too deep in the 2000s. Like it looks too glossy and modern for what a Freddy versus Jason movie should look like. But whatever.
And
Fun guy.
also, as much as I like Ken whatever as Jason, every time I watch a movie, like this would have been so much cooler
It
with
should be
Cade.
Kane. Yeah. This is a
Oh
good
my
joke.
god.
It makes no sense, but it
Well,
works for
Jason
me.
just wanted to show off. He's like, look, I got a present.
Oh,
This is the
hey,
cool
you're
thing.
alive. Oh.
Oh wait, you're
just a severed
ahead.
head.
That was truly
Oh,
a
God.
shocking revelation. Oh, here it
Don't-
is.
Don't lose your head over that revelation.
It was really shocking, Noah.
Positively shocking.
They should have got Sean Connery for one of these movies. That'd be amazing.
Jason. We have to kill Jason.
They offered me the Matrix. I didn't understand it, so I turned it down. They
I'll,
offered me Jason X, so
I'll do the movie about the killer in the hockey mask. I can understand that.
I was a wee lad of 52 when the first movie came out.
I remember watching it in the
Here's
theater.
Robert's second favorite death in the movie.
It's
Oh,
great.
boy.
This is the one we were talking about earlier, Noah. This is the girl freaking out, who's
Okay.
gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah, I
Kinza?
really just
Like,
combined those two characters.
What was her goal here? What was her plan?
To escape.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, I get that she's traumatized and freaking out, but it's also like, what are you doing?
Being stupid.
I appreciate the amount of explosions in this motion picture.
It's a
Oh
fun
god.
sci-fi action movie.
That looks like a sitcom shot. Jason just stepping out.
And now basically we die.
Intense music playing.
Jason's standing right behind us, isn't he?
Slappy?
I love this reveal, and I love when people see this reveal, because I don't think you can predict that this is coming.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, "What the fuck?"
This is the part where I'm like, "Have we gone too far?"
Robert, the answer is no.
I kind of
This any further than turning him into a body hopping slug that can only be killed by a sister that didn't exist before that movie.
Well, also, from what I remember, the scene goes on forever.
It does go on for. I think it's funnier if we just kill her here. Like if we just don't do the fight.
Yeah, but then you don't
She
get
shoots
Mecha
him
Jason,
for
which
like
is
10
peak.
minutes. And then it all builds up to Mecha Jason, so it's like, what's the point?
I think it's just the execution thing where this is the most like we're going full schlock, but also like the action's not great. Remember the Matrix?
Yeah, this is kind of the Matrix. I mean, she's kicking. She's shooting.
Feel about it.
He's in black leather.
But it's not like a Matrix fight scene because it's just her shooting a corpse for 10 minutes.
This scene's just over.
Yeah, but now she's doing the flips.
Like, is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be badass?
I don't know, but I think it's really funny.
Like, what's the tone we're going for here?
And then he gets back up. That's why my problem is like the Colonel character. I'm like, oh, he should be more of the focus. Every time he's on screen, it's great.
But we have to develop Robot Lady.
Oh my god.
I don't know. This is fine. I've seen
Her
worse
arc
things in this franchise.
She becomes fully uploaded, as that guy says. And then she becomes a head. What a great character arc.
Is
Well,
this
Noah,
movie woke?
Noah, this is the 10th movie. Why are you still waiting for character arcs?
Because
No, what I like about this scene is it just shows that like Jason can't be stopped unless you blow up his head, apparently.
And even then,
even then, if you have nanites, you know that fixes it.
nanomachines.
In the Noah, I had the novelization for Freddy vs. Jason as a kid.
Yeah.
And in the novelization, they talk about Freddy and Jason's like evil powers or evil like the thing that keeps bringing them back kind of negate each other, and that's why they can hurt each other, which was supposed to be, I guess, the idea at some point. And I always thought that was
Okay.
interesting. I wish they'd done more with that.
I wish they explained that in the movie. That's cool. That's actually a cool idea, though.
Yeah. When can we get Halloween in space? Like, I'm begging you, do something interesting with it.
Can we just do nothing with Halloween forever? Can we just let
Yeah.
that die?
No, they made 10 Friday movies and they're still bringing it back. Slashers never go away. They're cheap and they make money.
I mean, I know that
Unless
they're
you're
doing
Freddy
this.
Krueger.
Unless you're Freddy Krueger. I know that they're doing that series, but they really should just make another one of these. And don't like feel the need to do a soft reboot or anything. Just
Yeah,
make
Make a
another
Jason
one.
movie.
Yeah, just make a Jason movie. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overexplain it. Just call it Friday the 13th Part 13.
Yep. No questions asked. Just go. I think it'd make money.
I think there's
yeah,
enough
totally,
demand for
especially
one
now.
of these.
Mhm.
Jason's back in the zeitgeist with the game. They're releasing the movies again. Because that's the thing, is I think a lot of people don't stop to consider this, and I'm not saying you didn't know it, because I don't remember if you were on our commentary for the remake. That remake wasn't a failure. It made money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know how successful that was off the top of my head.
So, for reference, the 2009, can you believe it's been that long already? 2009.
Yeah.
So that was made for about 19 million and made 92.7 million. So like it made money.
Whoa.
They just were
That's
stupid and
crazy.
made Nightmare on Elm Street next, and that tanked the whole thing. No, because I remember seeing, I think it was on Twitter, there was like either a script or a pitch for a sequel to that movie. They just never got the green light.
Oh yeah.
Tyler says now's the time to make the Halloween anthology series. See, that's what I want, but I don't think
They
that they're
won't.
ever gonna do that.
They
That's
won't,
all I want.
because that's the thing, is it's too late. Michael Myers
Way too late.
is established as the face of the Halloween franchise. As much as I do want Halloween to take a break, I do want it to come back with somebody that will just make Halloween movies. The problem with Kills and more so Ends wasn't that, oh, we just keep making them. It's, we tried to be like really self-important and like build this
Pretentious.
pretentious with it. Just make a simple slasher movie. They did it with 2018. And take Michael out of Haddonfield. It's been, how many Halloween movies are there now?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
with Noah. I don't need more Michael Myers movies. Give me a new Jason movie. If I just want to turn my brain off, slasher movie. That's what I want
yeah,
Jason
that's
for.
why we need this series to come back.
But see, I
As
want
we're,
Michael to come back,
talking
so,
about
and
this as the
Jason,
nanomachines.
so we can get the like Michael and Freddy or Michael and Jason movie. Come on, give it to me.
Yeah, I don't really need that, but that could be fun.
Or just bring versus movies back.
I'd like to see
Leprechaun
Freddy
versus Chucky.
Yes.
I would have loved to have seen Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. I really want to review that comic, but good luck finding it. It's too late now, but I really wish we had gotten that Leprechaun versus Candyman movie.
Because that's so weird.
Yeah.
You'd think Leprechaun versus Hellraiser or something like that. Or Candyman
That's
versus
even
Hellraiser.
weirder.
Candyman versus Hellraiser. So I meant to say.
Well, then if you're not going to call it Halloween, just make it a different franchise. There he is.
Yay! And
Here he is. Here's our boy.
I don't care.
some
I
people,
unabashedly love this suit.
It's so goofy. It only, I mean,
Um,
it works for this movie. Like it's so silly,
yeah.
but I
What I
love
w-
it.
what I was gonna say earlier when you asked me, because I thought you were talking about the suit, I was like, well, it works for this movie, but it's not like my favorite Jason design. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's not
I think what helps is
in the
Kane
top.
Hodder is just playing it normal, like he's not playing it different, and so it
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
has that kind of intimidation factor of Kane Hodder's Jason is scary.
Yeah. I think whenever you get like close-ups on his face, it looks really good. I like the detail in the mask, but when you see him like walking around, like it looks very cheap. He looks like a Power Rangers villain in some shots.
That's fine. I've seen some Power
You're
Rangers villains; they
talking
look really
to
cool.
one of the
Yeah.
biggest Power Rangers fans here.
It like but like that's a really funny bit when he punches the robot's head off and like that's all you
Yeah.
need. You don't need to bring her back after that. The movie thinks I care about that relationship more than I. It's really weird how much time we spend on that.
Yeah, I think that's why that's the
I
character
like
I remember most because we're weirdly focused on her.
I like
Like
that
that
line where
relationship,
he's
that's
like,
the heart of
"What's
the movie.
going on?" and she's like, "Jason fucking Voorhees, that's what's going on."
It's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the
I don't know if this would make a top 10, top 5 suit designs. But I've always liked this suit a lot.
it's fun.
I would love to have seen a movie built around that one. Like, what do you do with that? Now, I will give you this, Noah. There is that shot later of them looking out the green screen, and he's like flying towards them. That looks really bad,
It's so
that
bad, yeah.
that's my favorite shot though.
but
It's
it does
so
have
good.
the coolest moment where the sergeant guy just comes out of nowhere and fucking tackles him into the atmosphere.
That we'll get to it, but that's the other part where I'm like, oh, they ran out of money. Where you've got him and Jason walking toward each other, and like there's sparks and shit go off. I'm like, okay, here we go, and then we cut away. It's like, oh, I wanted to see that fight, but we cut away. That happens a couple times in this third act. Like, oh, we ran out of money.
Because
Like
we
this
have
right
to
here.
spend more time with these two and their relationship. That Colonel guy is boring, Robert. Why do you care about him?
Boo.
This is a cool
And
setup. It's just, yeah, they have to cut it out
No.
because
this should be the second best kill of the movie. Like, it's what you want in a space horror movie like this: is somebody getting sucked out of an airlock and all the gore potential you have, and it's like, nope, just happens off screen. Alien Resurrection still wins the gold medal for best
it does.
airlock
I don't
sequence.
hate what we have here, but yeah, it could have been better.
I don't even hate the pun. I need the kill to be good.
No, the only thing that ruins the pun for me is just I got really tired of hearing that is the review for this movie.
Yeah.
I think the pun's pretty cringy.
You need Arnold Schwarzenegger to sell that line.
He sucks on so many levels.
Ah!
Ah,
There's like they did that in 2 seconds. There's like barely even any blood.
yeah, oh god.
It's so awful.
I was about to say that sucks, but I can't even say that.
Okay, did you notice that? I think they just reused the same shot of his arm bursting in through the.
I think they did. It sure
That's
looked the
amazing.
same.
That's amazing.
Hey, this isn't a big budget movie, John. They're not made of money.
I mean, to be fair, it's really not a big budget movie. But it's funny because you mentioned Power Rangers. That's one of my favorite things when we bring back an old Ranger is they don't refilm the morphing sequence. They just use the old one. So like Jason from the original Mighty Morphin, the age is like 20 years when he morphs.
Noah, are you gonna watch Hellraiser 3 with us, or do you need to tap out after this?
I'm gonna
He
do
said he was gonna do
Hellraiser
both.
3.
I was just asking because after that, I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna be making you watch
Yeah. Okay.
in the future.
Okay. So it's something
Yeah.
John's seen.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Never mind then.
Well,
The
I
one-
mean, I have a few options that I've been like bouncing around, but there's one I might go with.
It's just because the way you said it, it sounded like you was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you
You.
specifically watch something."
You. I even
Yeah, I'm.
for the next one busted out my fancy
Oh, look at
Hellraiser.
that!
Ooh.
I'm gonna watch part 3 on 4K.
I'm gonna rent 3.
No, why don't you own any movies?
Why would I own a Hellraiser 3?
I do.
But why would I own a Hellraiser 3? I don't like that movie very much.
Why are you wrong about everything?
Yeah, I'm really excited to get to that one.
I'm excited for Robert's reaction because you don't know anything about 3, right?
I really don't know much about it.
This spacesuit that this guy's wearing kind of reminds me of the ones in 2001 a bit. I don't know if that was an
Oh yeah,
intentional
it's a cool
nod to
spacesuit.
that. Yeah, or like the spacesuits in Star Trek: The Motion Picture when Spock's like going out into V'ger.
Oh my god, he pushed down that plastic door.
I don't know why I just thought of the rubber icicles from Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
Same kind of vibe.
like, and that's like one of the most expensive movies ever made at that time, but
Everybody,
also
yeah.
looks really cheap in places.
Oh yeah.
And this is the famous
Oop,
hologram scene.
he's back at Crystal Lake.
It's weirdly nostalgic because it's like, oh yeah, we haven't been here in a while.
This is a Friday the 13th movie. Oh, we've been in space
Kind
for
of.
so long.
And I'm sure you know this. I think it's a Colin from Red Letter Media, the Canadian guy. He worked
Yeah,
on this movie. I think he worked on some of the digital VFX of the sequence. Good job.
good job, Colin.
I do this set. I really love though how it's like half the lake, but you can still see like the the walls
Mhm.
in the background. But I think that's cool. I think that works.
No, it's actually a pretty cool set.
It's like we can't just film in the woods. We have to build it.
But weirdly enough, it's one of the better looking sets. Like, it somehow looks more like Camp Crystal Lake than the spaceship looks like a spaceship.
Crystal Lake, 1980.
Tyler says that Robert's gonna make us watch his home films, a true horror show. Oh God,
Oh God.
I'm gonna show them my private movies.
this is fun enough. Like,
This is when we go full schlock. Is this movie self-aware?
Only when it wants to be. And yes, as someone in the chat mentioned before, this is the other take on the sleeping bag kill.
I love
Yeah,
this. I don't care.
it's
I think it's
so over the
funny.
top.
I prefer the other one,
We
but this
we
one's
have
funny.
we have stopped trying to be a horror film by this point.
I mean, I'd argue we stopped that a while ago. Like,
Oh my god.
Run through that hallway.
Yeah, like I said, just no consistency or visual identity to this ship. Every time you see sparks shooting out around Jason, though, it looks awesome.
That's cool. Cool guys don't look at explosions,
Hell yeah.
including Jason.
Raven G. So, what are your hopes for the Crystal Lake show? At this point, just to be
That's
good.
good.
Like
Just as good. Yeah.
I don't know enough.
I'm
I'm
confident that it
liking what
will
they're
be good.
announcing. I think Linda Cardellini as Mrs. Voorhees is awesome.
That's perfect casting.
I've always said though, like I have two pitches for how I'd reboot
Hang
Friday
on,
the
we
13th.
gotta. Oh, and it cut away.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know.
No.
It looks so cool, and then we don't
If
get
this
to see
film's
it.
scary as a kid, I can't imagine it would be considered a horror film. It feels more like an action film. I mean, action horror exists.
Yeah.
No, this didn't
There's a
scare
lot of
me.
aliens in this movie.
This didn't scare me for someone who wasn't used to a lot of gore, and I'm not, or any kind of gore really. The ice kill grossed me out the first time I saw it, but I adapted.
You evolved.
Adapted, aka desensitized.
Yeah, I've seen far worse now.
But back to Draven's question though, where it's like I've always said I have like two pitches for how I'd reboot Friday the 13th. I have the I'd love to go creepier and more grounded and serious and like scarier than this franchise has ever been. And I also just want a Jason movie. So if the Crystal Lake show gets to scratch that first itch for me of being more psychological and creepy and serious, but we can also have a fun Jason movie, then I'm happy. Then I get the best of both worlds.
And I feel like that's what they could do, because we're in this territory now where you can do that, which is why with the DCU, I'm glad we're getting two Batman things, because we can have the Batman that can go toe to toe with the Justice League and stuff in gun stuff, and then the street level detective.
I love how weirdly sentimental the Syndicate gets. It's like, oh, it's come full circle. Just these two young people seeing a shooting
Yeah.
star
Do you think?
that are
Do
gonna
you
get
think this
murdered by
movie is?
Jason.
Do you think this movie is made when they're making this? Like, yeah, this might be the last like solo Jason movie.
Oh yeah.
Because that ending kind of feels like it. Also, I want to know what
It
Uber
is.
Jason looks like without his mask.
Yeah.
Wait
God,
a
that is an
minute.
abrupt ending.
There's the menu music.
Oh,
It is in
okay.
the credits.
It is in the movie.
Why
okay.
is that the song they used for the menu?
Because it's cool?
Why is this the
Question
song
mark?
they used for the credits?
I was gonna say, like, why is this in the movie at all?